Okay, welcome back to Ryan the Ride Mechanic. Today we're going to be talking about why you get wet on water rides. Really? That's what the subject's going to be about today?
Now get ready. Here we go.
Okay, so this subject is actually a little complicated because there are two types of people that you have to take in mind when it comes to this water subject. No, three types actually. First type, people that aren't going to ride. You don't have to worry about them. Second type is people that want to ride, and they're broken into two categories. Basically, you have people that want to get soaked to the bone on a water ride, and you have people that are just casually visiting that don't want to get that wet on a water ride. So you have to find the happy medium between both of them. So the park's typical standpoint is the park really doesn't care too much, although if you start drenching people on rides, you start getting lots of guest complaints that they're too wet. Yes, people actually complain that they got too wet on a water ride. That happens, it's a thing. So the park has to maintain a certain balance. Most manufacturers set the water level in the ride, that's part of the safety system, and they set the way the boats or logs are shaped and the size of the flume and everything else. So there's not too much we can do, but through our own maintenance experimenting on our off time, we decided to dig into it. We had a Shoot to Chutes ride built by Intamin, and we noticed the inconsistency. Sometimes you get a big splash and you get wet, sometimes you wouldn't get hardly anything at all. So we wanted to figure it out. So we did some testing one time, and we knew what the parameters were. The water level was set. There are big run-out rails in the run-out that the boat actually rides on once it splashes down, so it can't go lower than that. So we were trying to determine what was the actual function, the mode that gets people wetter than others. And it turns out to be loading on the bigger boat rides. So we found out you can load a boat heavy towards the front, and those front dams will really plow right into the water and create a huge wave and really soak everybody in the boat. If you weight a boat heavy towards the rear and light in the front, it tends just to hydro right over the water and never really bites in. You get a very minor wave, very minor splash, and there's nothing really to it. So if you're going to the park and there's hardly anybody on the ride and you want to not get very wet, let's just say it's an almost empty boat, sit towards the rear. Try to load the rear of the boat up, and it'll just skim along the water and you won't get too wet. And if it's you want to get wetter than normal, then load everybody in the very front of the boat, and that boat will really dig in and cause a big splash. And yeah, that's about it. Anyways, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you want to hear, what you want me to talk about, and I'll talk to you next time. Take it easy.